Welcome to Slash Bash, where today I am bringing you another Entitled Parents Reddit video. In our first story, my mom threw herself out of my house. Let's jump right in. A little background and the cast of characters. All are fictional names. My mother is Elizabeth. She is an academic, has a PhD in education, and she is a religious zealot. She was formerly a nun for 25 years. Yes, a real penguin nun. She was asked to leave, according to her telling, because of a disagreement with the Mother Superior over a spreadsheet. James, my stepdad, is a retired math professor. He has a PhD in math and is married to my mother for about 12 years prior to this event. He has early onset Parkinson's and is not really engaged with family stuff beyond what Elizabeth tells him. She wears the pants, go figure. Terry is my new wife. She is my third wife and is a tiny spitfire. She and I think so much alike on so many topics, it is like we thought with one brain from the day we met. We decided we should be together within 4 hours of us meeting. She is also a pagan. I'm Peter. I am a cybersecurity professional and also a pagan, which is important later. I am the kind of person that has really few flips to give if you are in my way or creating issues with my children. I have 2 of them, 6 and 9 at this time. On with the story. This happened the day after I got married to Terry. We had a wonderful pagan wedding with a sand ceremony, hand fasting, circle ceremony, and vows all before a druid priest. It was glorious and ended with a long single-table feast. Everyone, except my mother and stepdad, were dressed in period clothing from the medieval era. It was perfection. We are also huge geeks and had a TARDIS cake. After the ceremony, my mother wanted to spend some time with the grandchildren, my 2 kids, and since they had flown in from Washington to Texas for the wedding, I allowed her to come to the house after the wedding. Generally, I do not allow anyone to know where I live, especially extended family. However, due to the special event, my wedding, I allowed my mother to come over after the wedding and visit with the grandchildren. She had not seen them for years, which was her choice. I am a pretty straightforward person, and just like for the wedding, I laid out the very simple rules for her to visit with the grandchildren and be at my house. Nothing religious, books, media, etc. around for the children. We have had problems with this in the past. Respect the house and the basic rules. Close doors, let me know if you use up the toilet paper or replace the roll, etc., which are basic to my view of a good guest. No political discussions within the confines of the property. They show up and I invite them in through the garage because if you invite someone through the front door, you give them temporary authority in your home, and they entered in with a couple of fancy gift bags. I asked about the bags, and Elizabeth said it was a surprise for the children. The children were of course excited. They had no real memory of them because the amount of time since they had seen them last. They sat and talked, the kids showed them their toys, and things looked like they would go well, and she would follow the rules. We all sat down in the playroom with the kids scurrying about between the adults like they had never had attention. Elizabeth quietly ushers the children into a different room, the dining room, away from me and Terry. I look over and James is asleep on the couch in the playroom. A few minutes go by and I notice that Elizabeth had taken the bags with her to the other room with the children. This gets my daddy senses tingling. I get up and walk over to the dining room. Elizabeth was holding my children on her lap at the table and had a Bible storybook that she was beginning to read to the children. I slowly and casually close the book. I point to the bookshelf near the play area that has a large selection of books that are approved for the children. I remind Elizabeth about the rules and ask the kids to go pick a book from the shelf for Grandma to read to them. They hop down and happily run over to pick one, while Elizabeth stands up and tries to stare me down. I'm 6 feet tall and she is about 5 foot, so her standing there trying to look tough was almost comical. The kids come back and they had picked one book. They handed it to Elizabeth. She slammed it down on the table and said, "No, we are reading the books I brought." This freaked out my kids and they started to shake and my youngest began to cry. I kneeled down and told them to take the book to Terry and she would read it to them because Elizabeth and I needed to talk. They perked up a bit and ran off. Terry told me later that they jumped on the couch with her and were shaking and quiet. Elizabeth gets into my face and screams, "You will obey me! I can do what I want! I am your mother!" I lean down to look her straight in the eye and say in a low, rumbling voice, "You are in my house, those are my children, and you will follow my rules." Elizabeth huffs and turns on her heels and storms out of the room back to the playroom and complained to Terry that I would not let her read what she wanted to the children. She left out the topics of the books or anything else. Terry told her the same thing almost word for word. "This is our house, and if you want to be here, then you have to follow our rules." Damn, I love that woman. Elizabeth slaps James on the knee and loudly declared, "We are leaving." The kids were still looking confused and shaking, snuggled up to Terry. James wakes up and begins to follow her to the door. At the door, she turns and declares, "If my friend Jesus is not welcome here, then neither am I. We will not be back." With that, she stormed out through the garage and slammed the door. Another pet peeve. The next day, she invited me and Terry to dinner at Red Lobster. She offered us a chance to apologize. Then she would come back to the house. Terry and I looked at her and responded in unison, "No." Elizabeth tried several more manipulations where she gave us chances to gain her favor again and have them come back to complete the visit. Otherwise, they were going to fly back to Washington. I bid them a safe trip and we left the restaurant. Now, she only contacts me when she needs tech support and to ask about the children once in a while. I'm not actively trying to do no contact. She is passively sending me religious articles about coming back to the church, which is annoying and insulting. So she has chosen to not visit or call the children, her only grandchildren, until I give her free rein and kowtow to her beliefs. I am a pagan, and I don't try and rub it in other people's faces. That is not our way. We just live and commune with our spiritual leaders and family. Recently, others in my family, on Elizabeth's side of the family, have been reaching out to get me to let her back in, and I explained to them that it is not me keeping her away. So, I come to you, my Reddit family, to get this out of my head and to try to make sense of it all. Story number 2, my mom just upgraded her wedding ring. My now fiancé said that my mom told her husband that she wanted to upgrade her wedding ring the moment she saw the ring my fiancé picked for me when he asked for their blessing. Time for an upgrade is exactly what she said. It's been a few weeks and they went to get a quote on her ring, which at first I was fine with and kind of teased her because I thought it was silly she was jealous, to trade it in. I told her as long as it didn't look like mine, and they both confirmed it wouldn't be, as she liked a different cut. Well, she came out with a massive, similar-shaped stone with a huge, thick band made of smaller diamonds, but still larger than average, mind you. They sent us all a photo of it, and it's nuts how much they spent on it. When I asked her why she really needed such a large piece, she told me I didn't deserve to have a larger ring than hers, because I'm not even married yet, so they agreed to get her a bigger one because she earned it. First of all, I think it's insane to equate your self-worth to a ring, but what? And secondly, they said they had been having money problems and the amount they spent seems irresponsible. I just wanted to vent a little and see if anyone has had something similar happen. Edit. I took out some specific details that might identify me if this gets too big. Also, thanks for the awards. I am going to let this roll off my back now and just enjoy the engaged life and wedding planning, with hopefully as little drama as possible. This is John from /bash. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the video and want to be the first to know when the next one drops, then subscribe and make sure you click on the notifications bell so that YouTube will actually show you my videos. We would love for you to drop a like, share it with your friends, and we will see you in the next one.